The therapist called it behavioral activation, which is a clinical way of saying go do something before you disappear entirely. So here I am, standing in a commercial kitchen that smells like garlic and warm butter, wearing an apron that says Gather and Grow Cooking Studio in cheerful green letters, surrounded by 5 strangers who all seem to know why they're here. I do not know why I'm here. I signed up at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. The way I make all my best and worst decisions, impulsively, in the dark when the apartment got too quiet. The class was called Simple Italian, a beginner's evening, and it cost $65. And I told myself that was practically therapy. Cheaper anyway. The instructor, a compact woman named Dara with her hair pinned back and a no-nonsense energy, starts explaining mise en place. I'm trying to pay attention, I am. But the man who got assigned the prep station next to mine just dropped his wooden spoon, picked it up, looked at it, and placed it carefully back on the counter like nothing happened. I'm already losing, he says to no one in particular. I look at him sideways. He's tall, slightly rumpled, wearing an apron he's tied wrong. The strings are looped around the front instead of the back, and it looks like a costume. He has dark eyes and a mouth that seems like it's always a half second from something. Your apron is on backwards, I tell him. He looks down. Huh. He doesn't fix it. I face forward. Dara is talking about knife grip. His name is Marcus. I learn this when Dara assigns us as partners for the first exercise, which is apparently just chopping onions, and I think I paid $65 to cry in front of strangers. Perfect. Very healing. Marcus picks up his knife with the confidence of someone who has definitely never held a knife correctly, and I watch him curl his fingers around the blade side instead of the handle. Stop, I say. He stops. Like this. I adjust my own grip, pinch the blade, index finger and thumb. The handle rests in your palm. He copies me, badly. Without really thinking, I reach over and correct his fingers, moving them one by one into place. His hand is warm. He goes very still while I'm doing it, like I'm diffusing something. There, I say, stepping back. Okay. His voice is different. Lower. Thanks. We chop onions. My eyes water. His eyes water. We don't comment on it, which feels like the kindest thing 2 strangers have done for each other in a long time. The pasta dough is where things start to unravel in the best possible way. Dara demonstrates how to knead, heel of the hand, push and fold, quarter turn, repeat. It looks meditative when she does it. When Marcus does it, it looks like he's trying to wrestle something into submission. You're fighting it, I tell him. It's fighting me. It's dough. It doesn't have opinions. You clearly haven't met this dough. I laugh, actually laugh, not the polite, reflexive kind I've been producing for 2 years, but something real that comes from somewhere lower in my chest. It surprises me enough that I press my lips together after, like I'm trying to keep the rest of it in. Marcus notices. He doesn't say anything about it, but his mouth does that almost thing again. Dara comes by and wordlessly repositions my wrists. The dough is supposed to feel like an earlobe when it's ready, apparently. I do not know whose earlobe, but I decide not to ask. When she moves on, Marcus leans slightly toward me. Does yours feel like an earlobe? I have no idea what my earlobe feels like. Fair. He presses the dough, considers it with great seriousness. Mine feels like regret. What does regret feel like? He looks at me, dense and a little sticky. I press my lips together again. It doesn't work this time. The laugh gets out. We fall into something easy after that. He burns the garlic, genuinely, impressively burns it, filling our corner of the kitchen with smoke. And the way he looks at the blackened pan with absolute betrayal makes me laugh until Dara comes over with a replacement clove and a look that says, I have seen your kind before. I'm a hazard, he tells me. You're enthusiastic. Is that a polite word for hazard? In this context, yes. He grins. It does something to his whole face, opens it up, makes him look younger and more unguarded. I find myself wanting to say things just to see it happen again. There's a moment, reaching for the same bowl of cherry tomatoes at the same time, where our hands land on top of each other. Neither of us pulls away immediately, maybe half a second too long. Then we both reach in, grab tomatoes, say nothing. My heart is doing something I forgot it could do. I catalog the feeling the way I've learned to in therapy. Observe it. Name it, don't judge it. So I observe it. Warmth, low in my sternum, spreading outward. I name it want. And then I absolutely judge it, just a little, because I'm a work in progress. The plating is where it gets me. Dara shows us how to twirl the pasta into a nest using tongs and a ladle, how to spoon the sauce at the base rather than over the top, how to finish with a drag of good olive oil and a basil leaf placed, not dropped. Marcus and I are building our plates side by side. He's slow and deliberate about it, more careful than I expected from someone who burned garlic and tied his apron wrong. He plates like he's thinking about the person who'll eat it. Here, he says, and before I can process it, he's behind me, not quite touching, but close enough that I can feel the warmth of him, and his hand covers mine on the tongs. Like this, he says quietly, guiding the pasta into a coil. His chin is near my temple. His voice is low enough to be just for me. Slow, let it fall into shape. My hand in his, the pasta twirling, the kitchen noise softening around us. I am thinking about the last 18 months, the months I spent in bed, in my own fog, eating cereal for dinner, telling people I was fine in a tone that said, please don't ask. I am thinking about how long it has been since I stood in a warm room and felt present in my own body. Slow, he said, let it fall into shape. I exhale. Good, he murmurs. Whether he means the pasta or something else, I don't know. He steps back. The space where he was feels cooler. We eat at a long communal table, all 6 students. Dara at the head, candles someone lit at some point. The pleasant chaos of people who cook together and are now somehow friends in the uncomplicated way strangers can be for one evening. Marcus is beside me. Our knees touch under the table and stay that way for the whole meal. Neither of us acknowledges it. The pasta is good, genuinely, surprisingly good, and when Marcus takes his first bite, he makes a sound of pure disbelief. We did that, he says. You burned the garlic. I contributed to that? Minimally. He points his fork at me. You're ruthless. I'm accurate, I say, and I'm smiling, and it doesn't feel like an effort. That's the thing I notice, that it doesn't feel like an effort. When it's over, most people drift toward the exit in the pleasant, slow way of a good evening reluctantly ending. Marcus and I hang back, not by plan, just by the same instinct to let the feeling last a little longer. We rinse our cutting boards in the deep sink. Our elbows keep touching. Are you going to come back next week? He asks. They do a French one. Apparently we'll make crepes. That sounds like a disaster for you specifically. Almost certainly. He hands me a dish towel. Our fingers overlap, so you should come to supervise. I dry my hands. I look at him, the wrong apron, the careful plating, the laugh he gave me without trying, the way he stood behind me and said slow, let it fall into shape like he was talking about more than pasta. I wasn't planning to, I say, which is true. I signed up for one class on a dark Tuesday because my therapist told me to try something. I look at him a moment longer. I am now, I say. He smiles, the full version, the one that opens up his whole face. I untie my apron, hang it on the hook by the door, and walk out into the night air feeling, for the first time in a long time, like I might be hungry for something.